What's up, Vault Dwellers? Dan here, and today we're talking about moving models frame by frame, sometimes spending entire days just to capture 3 seconds of footage, and all just to create magic that CGI still can't replicate. Stop motion, it's brutal, it's tedious, and one wrong move and you're starting the whole shot over. But when this thing works, you get dinosaurs that feel alive, monsters with weight and personality, and worlds that exist in 3 dimensions. These 13 films, they represent the peak of the art form, from the silent era all through the golden age and into the modern revival. They're ranked by technical achievement, creativity, and how much they made me go, how the hell do they actually do that? All right, let's get into it. The Lost World, this is where it all started. Willis O'Brien animated dinosaurs for a feature film, and audiences in 1925, they lost their minds. This was like the first time anyone had seen creatures that moved believably on screen, not puppets on strings, but things that seemed to have weight and presence. O'Brien built dinosaur models with ball and socket armatures, moved them in tiny little increments, and shot it frame by frame, repeated thousands of times. The Brontosaurus, Allosaurus, Pterodactyl, they're crude by later standards, but for 1925, this shit was revolutionary. This proved stop motion could tell stories, could create spectacle, could make audiences believe in the impossible. Without this, there's no King Kong, there's no Harryhausen, there's no practical effects revolution. It's the foundation everything else is built on. Valley of the Gwangi is just peak Harryhausen doing cowboys versus dinosaurs, which is exactly as friggin' awesome as it sounds. James Franciscus and his crew, they discover a hidden valley full of prehistoric creatures, and of course they decide to capture them for a Wild West show, because that's just a great idea. I don't know if this is a spoiler alert, it's not a great idea. The Gwangi creature is an Allosaurus. This is Ray Harryhausen at the true height of his powers. The animation is so fluid, and the creature, it has personality. Like there's a scene where the cowboys, they rope it like a bull. It's incredible. Harryhausen spent months animating this thing, just getting the weight right, making it feel dangerous. The film bombed at release because nobody knew what to make of it. But it became like this cult classic that just proves stop motion, it could make anything work. Dinosaurs in the Old West? Absolutely. Why the hell not? Mighty Joe Young, it's basically King Kong, but he's just a lot nicer. Willis O'Brien supervised this thing, but his protege, Ray Harryhausen, he did most of the animation. And you can just see him developing the techniques that would define his career. Joe, he's a giant but gentle ape who gets exploited by nightclub owners and has to save kids from a burning orphanage. The orphanage sequence, it's just so spectacular. Joe climbs the building, he's reaching in for children through the flames, and the building's collapsing around him. Harryhausen animated all of it with his careful attention to Joe's personality. You see, he's not a monster. He's a character with emotions. The nightclub tug-of-war scene where Joe fights the strongman, that's just pure peak entertainment. This won an Oscar for special effects, launching Harryhausen's career, just proving that stop motion, it could do more than horror and spectacle.
Under the sea, there's just one creature might set you free.
Well, throw the coin, call him.
Jack the Giant Killer. It was trying to cash in on the 7th voyage of Sinbad's success. And honestly, it mostly works. The stop motion by Jim Danforth and others, it's totally ambitious. You know, there's a two-headed giant, a kraken, flying demons. The creatures are super creepy and imaginative, even if the film around them is just standard adventure stuff. You know what makes this film interesting? It's really how scrappy it is. They didn't have the Harryhausen style budgets to work with, so they had to get creative, you know, with forced perspective, using miniatures, and stop motion like hybrids. The two-headed giant fight, it's legitimately impressive to watch, and the witch's transformation scenes are super unsettling. It's not top tier, and it shows how many animators were pushing the form in Harryhausen's wake. Sometimes the best work, it comes from people trying to match the master with half the resources, you know?
Hold the gate! Drop the port! Curiosity. Ladies and gentlemen, look at Kong, the 8th wonder of the world.
King Kong. It's the big one, I guess in more ways than one. This is the film that proved stop motion could carry an entire movie. Willis O'Brien, he animated Kong with such personality that audiences, they fell in love with a giant ape who kidnaps women and destroys cities. That's the magic. Kong, he isn't just a monster. He's tragic, he's sympathetic, and he's the star of the show. The Empire State Building climb, it's iconic for a reason. O'Brien made you believe a gorilla could scale a skyscraper while swatting at biplanes. The dinosaur fights on Skull Island, they've got weight and danger to them. And the natives, you know, the jungles, and the entire world just feels tangible. This was made in 1933, with techniques O'Brien invented as he went through this. I mean, he didn't have a playbook. There were no computers back then, just pure craftsmanship. Every giant monster film, every creature feature, Every stop-motion project owes Kong some homage here. It's the Mount Rushmore of the art form.
Stay here. You'll be all right.
Don't go. Don't, Goliath. Don't, Goliath.
Goliath and the Dragon, it's an Italian sword and sandal ridiculousness that was elevated by surprisingly good stop motion. I mean, the dragon looks great. The three-headed dog, it's creepy. And, well, I mean, the elephant dinosaur hybrid thing, all right, it exists.
He's a beauty, that elephant, isn't he? A great spectacle.
This is essentially a low-budget film that happens to have fantastic creature work. The dragon fight, it's actually exciting. It moves well, it breathes fire convincingly, and it feels threatening. I mean, most Italian films from this era, they have just terrible effects. But someone here, they understood stop-motion fundamentals. It's not Harryhausen level, right? But it's way better than it needed to be. This is what happens when craftsmen elevate trash into something memorable.
You have served your gods well and fulfilled your vow. You are free now to do as you will.
You mean I'm released from my tasks?
Yes, Goliath, you have that right. The gods, too, keep their vows. From now on, you may do all you may desire.
We gotta hold this off as long as possible.
Dinosaurs is so stupid, it's charming. Right, so construction workers, they accidentally thaw frozen dinosaurs and a caveman, which, of course, chaos ensues, and a kid befriends a brontosaurus, this one. Really, this is aimed at children, and the movie knows it, right? It's leaning into goofy comedy while delivering surprisingly decent dinosaur animation. The T-Rex versus construction equipment, it's just fun. The Brontosaurus has this interesting personality because they animated it like a giant puppy. Alright, the caveman subplot, it's a bit weird, but it works for this format. Project Unlimited did the effects for this, and they clearly studied Harryhausen's work, because the animation is fluid and the creatures have weight to it, and there's a charm in how they pulled it off. I mean, it's not trying to be important here. It just wants kids to think dinosaurs are cool. Mission accomplished. Black Scorpion has some of the most elaborate and terrifying stop-motion creatures like ever put on film. Willis O'Brien supervised, and the scorpions, I'd call them nightmare fuel. They're giant, they're aggressive, and they have these horrifying mandibles and stingers. The cave sequence where they fight each other, it's still disturbing decades later. The scorpions emerging from underground to attack Mexico City is nothing less than spectacular. O'Brien animated these things with malevolent intelligence. They're not just mindless monsters. I mean, they're hunting people. The final battle with the Black Scorpion on a stadium, it's peak 50s monster movie spectacle. The human stuff, alright, well, it's forgettable. But the creature sequences, they're just so good, you don't even care. This is O'Brien proving he still had it after Kong, creating something just unsettling and amazing.
Hi there. Why, don't be frightened, kiddo. I'm harmless. Dr. Lyle saw to that. Come here.
George Powell's final film, it's wonderfully weird. Tony Randall plays 7 different characters, including a mysterious Chinese circus master whose show teaches life lessons to a small Arizona town. The stop-motion work by Jim Danforth, especially the Loch Ness Monster and Medusa's snake hair, it's spectacular and weird in just the best ways possible. What makes this special, it's how the animation, it serves the character moments. It's not just spectacle, right? The serpent catching a cigar, just comedy. Medusa's snakes reacting independently, totally unsettling. The animation has personality to it. William Tuttle won an honorary Oscar for the makeup, but Danforth's animation holds up better than most 60s effects. This is stop motion used for whimsical instead of horror or adventure. It's Powell's a masterpiece, proving the technique could do anything. The Giant Behemoth was Britain's answer to Godzilla, and the stop motion by Willis O'Brien and Peter Peterson, it's excellent. You see a radioactive dinosaur, it attacks London, the creature rising from the water, crushing boats, and the sense of scale, it's just perfect. The behemoth moves like a real animal, not a puppet. There's weight in every step and aggression in its attacks. The final battle involves radioactive torpedoes and underwire sequences that required O'Brien to figure out entirely new techniques for this. It's not as famous as Kong or Godzilla, but the technical work, it's top tier. This is O'Brien in the 50s, just still innovating, still pushing what stop motion could do.
Stay back here, out of the way.
Equinox started as a student film that got picked up and then expanded. It's just gloriously ambitious. Dennis Muren, he did stop motion creatures on a nothing budget that inspired Sam Raimi and the entire Evil Dead aesthetics. The demons and monsters, they're crude, but they're super imaginative and totally aggressive. The ape demon, the flying creature, that tentacled thing, they're just all unsettling in ways that big budget films, they just weren't attempting. This is guerrilla filmmaking where enthusiasm trumps technical perfection. You can see Muren figuring out techniques that he would later define in his career. Evil Dead lifted shots wholesale from this. It's not polished, but it's creative and influential beyond its means. This is the bridge between old school O'Brien work and modern independent effects.
The adept demonologist held a position of high honor, the practice of evil and destruction.
Galaxies.
What is it, Doc?
Some species of Dinosaurus, I should think.
All right, so Flash Gordon, essentially, it's like a pornographic Flash Gordon parody with legitimately incredible stop motion by future Oscar winners. All right, so Jim Danforth, David Allen, and a few others, they created the monsters and effects that are just technically brilliant and hilariously inappropriate. I mean, the penis monster alone is astonishing craftsmanship in service of an absolute stupid idea. They animated this frame by frame with the same care that Harryhausen brought to Sinbad. It's all technically proficient. These were artists who wanted to work and just took whatever job they could get. And they brought their A game to softcore sci-fi parody. It's ridiculous and just beautifully animated. This is stop motion at its most absurd and most impressive simultaneously. Never underestimate an artist doing their best work, even in the weirdest of circumstances.
Oh. Ah, les voilà.
Okay, so this is it. This is the peak of stop motion achievement. Ray Harryhausen's skeleton fight sequence. It's the most famous stop motion ever filmed, and it's for a good reason. 7 skeletons fighting 3 actors simultaneously while maintaining perspective, weight, and choreography. This thing took 4 months to animate 3 minutes of footage. The title sequence is equally spectacular. You've got a bronze giant that moves with mechanical precision, but also personality. I mean, like, every creature is a technical marvel and a character by itself. Harryhausen was at his absolute peak, and nothing he or anyone else did just ever quite matched this. This is stop motion as an art form. Every animator since studies this film just to understand how Harryhausen solved problems, created believable fantasy, and made the impossible tangible. CGI has replaced stop motion for mainstream films, but it still can't replicate the tactile reality of these creatures. They exist in 3 dimensions. You can feel Harryhausen's fingerprint on like every single frame, and that human element makes them immortal. For the most part, stop motion fell out of favor when computers arrived, but it has never died. We have artists like Tim Burton, Phil Tippett. I mean, they're still keeping the art alive because there's something irreplaceable about creatures that actually existed, that an artist touched and moved and brought to life frame by frame. And before you go, check out the deep dive on Ray Harryhausen's filmography, and don't forget, keep it weird, folks.
From the time I first laid hands on the book, I heard nothing but rumors and vague warnings of its danger, all from the superstitious people of the area.